What's up? Good evening. Hope everybody's doing all right. I am Big Cheds coming to you live here on Thursday, February 7th, 2019. I am someone who enjoys looking at charts. I use Japanese candlestick analysis. I'm a volume trader. I like to work with you guys. I like to interact. I'm a teacher. I'm a learner. You know, all of the above. Some of you may know me from Twitter. I am on Twitter at Big Cheds, of course, on YouTube at Cheds Trading, and I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live, the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. We'll talk more about that later, but really just a format tonight, you know, is what I want to do is I'm just going to briefly, you know, kind of roll right into Bitcoin. I'm going to give you guys some of my thoughts, and then I want to jump into the chat room. I'm going to take those chart requests for you guys, and you know, I'm just going to look at it. I'm going to be honest with you. If it looked bad, it sucks. I'll tell you it sucks. You know, that kind of thing. So that's what we're here for. Go ahead, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up button as well. That will help me later for the search results. I appreciate you guys being here. I see a bunch of familiar names. Hope everybody's doing all right tonight. So we're looking at Bitcoin, and clearly here on the 12-hour chart, looks like our candle just closed half an hour ago. You know, so clearly the bears are in control. Even if I just take kind of this short snapshot, you can just see, you know, the lower highs, you know, going back. We had that big drop. We tried to form some sort of a rounded bottom. A couple ways to look at it. Maybe you're looking for a cup and handle reversal. Didn't happen. You know, we really had the head and shoulders. We talked about the neckline break. We've done this a million times. I don't have to go over it, you know. We're in a tight range. Let's just simplify it. We're in a tight range where the bears are in control, and it's a kind of a low to medium volume downtrend where bears are clearly in control. So, you know, I just see the price heading straight towards kind of like the last ditch support. So, I mean, it just makes sense. It's going to test it at some point. I don't know when it's going to happen, but like, what's the reason why? Like, you tell me why it's not going to test that support. Let's just be honest. Right? I mean, just let's be honest, right? So you have to always assume that the prior trend is still in force. It's still in force. So that's Bitcoin. So it's weak, you know, and you're just unable to establish a higher low. Bottom line, every time you've tried to, you know, put in a higher low, it's failed there. It failed here. It keeps failing, right? You get the point. And every show I've done, I've emphasized the fact that Bitcoin, Litecoin looks a lot better. And you see circled here, I have the higher lows. What am I talking about? Here's Bitcoin. Here's your first low. In order to reverse a trend, you have to put in a higher low at some point, right? So here's your bottom. Okay, here's my higher low. Great, December 27th. Candle close, lower shadow, doesn't matter, right? Either way, it's violated January 10th. So, I mean, then, okay, that's my low. Okay, that's violated. That's my low here. Okay, what is this? You know, like a dragonfly doji. That's my low. Okay, boom, that's violated. So, you know, there's no higher low. We go to Litecoin. First low, okay, December 14th. Next low, December 28th, January 14th. You see that. Now we have kind of a twice tested low here. So I'm just going to go clean. I'm going to remove all of the lines. I like to do that sometimes. And I'll just kind of mark it again and what's important to me. So pretty clearly, here's a channel. And I don't know. We'll see how that's going to play out. But what we saw, what was different on Litecoin, and I'm just going to work through these few Litecoin Ethereum, and I'll jump into the chart requests. You know, we talked about the head and shoulders. You actually had a neckline break. I'm drawing this fast and furious, but you had a neckline break. Let's see, 12-hour chart. You had a neckline break that failed on the retest, and then it kind of broke through again, and now it's just trailing sideways. But more importantly, you have the higher lows, which is important. So as long as Litecoin second low can maintain third low, right? So as long as Litecoin can maintain these lows, it's got a decent shot to bounce. But if you know if Bitcoin tanks, it's going to drag Litecoin down. But you can see just kind of, you know, for Bitcoin to test that lower support won't necessarily break Litecoin's chart, right? The point I'm trying to make. But if, let's say, you kind of really break support, that might break Litecoin's, you know, might break the higher lows of Litecoin. But Litecoin has some insurance now against kind of a continued bear move. I mean, it's clearly Litecoin looks like it's forced sideways. And it's not really going to uptrend. We have the 200 period moving average double rejection, and we have our lower highs Here's our high. Here's our second lower high. So clearly you have lower highs, but we have higher lows. So you're not going to be uptrend potentially till you break the higher lows, but you've at least stopped the bleeding on Litecoin. Ethereum, really, let's go clean. All right, so Ethereum, do we have a higher low? It's kind of the same thing with Bitcoin, where we failed to hold our higher low. And this was twice, tested a little initial bounce off of it, broke through. So we're looking at a tight range. It's similar to Bitcoin, where bears are in control on kind of a low to medium volume downtrend. I mean, if you want to try to get cute, you can draw your own falling wedge at some point. But the point is that bears are in control. So on that note, I just rambled on for a while. So what's up, Justin? Saint Anthony Dale. Let's get to your chart requests. Why don't you guys fire them off for me? So Saint XLM. I'm going to go to my master watch list, y'all. Let's go to XLM. Check it out, XLM. XLM, what's interesting, and clearly the bears are in control. And if you want to look for, if you're trying to figure out when this trend is reversing, a couple things two things jump out at me in this chart. So I don't know what it is for you guys. For me, it's the EMA 8 rejection. I'm trying to grab that. So it's kind of this EMA 8 rejection, this green line. So you see this a lot of time in an uptrend, where that EMA 8 is kind of the support on an uptrend, and here in a downtrend, that's your rejection point. So you have that EMA 8 kind of rejection here. We have this really almost like a double bottom in the RSI, but the OBV is showing no indications of a double bottom. A little bit of bullish divergence with the Vigor Index and the stochastics, but where's the volume? I mean, this wasn't that. Let's just simplify it, right? You've just got red candle, red candle, red candle, right? At some point, you need like a nice bottom candle with volume behind it. It can't be this tiny amount of volume. It needs to dwarf this candle here from November 20th. It needs to dwarf December 24th. It has to dwarf. You need that capitulation candle, that heavy loading candle. You need heavy volume, at least heavy volume on sideways action to show accumulation, something to show a reversal. It's clearly still bearish for XLM. Justin, Dale, XVG, you want daily and weekly. Okay. Pardon me. Drinking a can of sparkling water here to cleanse my palate. What are we looking at? XVG. I mean, look, so XVG, it's higher low, violation of higher lows. So guys, keep it simple, right? So a couple things. There's the higher lows. Here's your low, next low, right? Here's your higher low. We broke it. We lost it. I hope you can start to train your eyes. Like, you need to start. That's what you start looking at. Look at the candles, where the higher lows, lower highs, etc., and the volume behind it, right? So in theory, according to Japanese candlestick theory, if you take this candle here, it's the biggest. This is the big daddy, the big mama candle in this whole landscape we're looking at. And I'll very briefly make a point. And the point I want to make, I'm going to maximize this. So the point I want to make is this. So here's the bottom. Here's the open on that green candle. Here's the close, a little bit of an upper shadow. But look at the volume behind it. So this is the most important candle. So according to candlestick theory, when the price is reversing, it should start to find support at the midway point of that candle all the way down to the base. And you saw that happen. You saw all this consolidation. It failed, right? And then tried to go again sideways and failed. So the fact that you broke the bottom of this candle where all this loading was is a bad sign. That's called dumping, this distribution. You draw your own conclusion on that. You asked for daily. I hope the 12-hour will be good enough for that. Let's go weekly. I'll give you a weekly as well. So, really tight Bollinger Bands. And I'm looking to see, is there a higher low? There's no higher low at any point, right? That low was violated here. This low, I mean, look, it's really weak. Bears are in complete control. You know, is it going to go all the way down to like, what is that, 78 Satoshis? I mean, I see no reason why not. I see no reason why not for it eventually to drift down. Maybe gather some support and bounce potentially. Let's see. Next is TRX for Mohammed. Let's check out TRX. TRX weekly. Let's go back to 12-hour chart. That's what I'm looking at here. So you see how the EMA 34, I've been on all my tweets on this. If you search over the last like few weeks have been EMA 34 related, and you see how I'm just watching to see if that can still hold. Okay. So I could be persuaded by the lower highs. You know, the January 30th and February 4th highs in relation to that, you know, January 27th highs. But, you know, we had that here, right? So what is it, a bull pennant? You know, what was that? It was just a symmetrical triangle. Kind of draw it any way you want. It proved to be a bullish continuation. And you cleared the highs here. So it could still be doing that. But on all of these patterns here, let me just simplify it. Let me just make it another point this way. So here's your first consolidation phase. Let's call this like a second one, you know, and maybe here's a third one. It's always like bounce back to the EMA 34. It's come back to the EMA 34 and found support 1, 2, 3. So what's it going to do now? So that's why EMA 34 is important to me. I'm watching the volume. Not seeing a lot of like heavy selling volume here. I'm not seeing that like capitulation type volume, which is good, and that's reflected in the on balance volume. I mean, that makes sense. You know, if I look at this and I look at that explains this oscillator, and that's why it's so important to me. It's kind of reflecting the strength behind each candle, and and I have to kind of interpret it based on its configuration, its context, if you will. So I'm really not sure which way it's going to go here. I'm just watching the EMA 34, and I guess I would leave it like that. Patrick, you're looking for Raven coin. Let's check out RVN. I'll do just a few more here. Oopsie, appreciate you guys. Once again, appreciate you guys and gals joining. And just as a reminder, I'm not an advisor. I'm just someone who enjoys charting and crypto and sharing with you guys. So Raven coin, what's up with these upper shadows here? Like, what's the deal these last few days? So, I mean, that's not good. You have that happening corresponding with a short-term overbought. You have a capitulation here in the on-balance volume. Bears are in control. And you have a series of lower highs here as well. It's possible it could break out of this. I'd have to look closer to get a little more context here. Yeah, you know, tweets are topish there. So yeah, this is bearish because you can look. You broke it down, and what do you have? All the volume is behind this candle. So all this interpreting I'm doing here, there's really not a lot of volume behind it. And you have all you know is that bears rejected higher prices. That's all we know. Bears rejected higher prices. So you have these bearish candlesticks, not a lot of volume behind them, but there's not what you want to see after breaking this kind of short-term downtrend here. So it would stand to reason it might kind of back test that. That was pretty sloppily drawn. Let me see if I can quickly just kind of indicate what I'm referring to. So if this is just eyeballing it, right? So if I kind of just eyeball that, then, you know, we're going to come back. Then you're going to anticipate the price doing something like this, right? And then potentially bouncing. But it looks bearish right here, right? Kind of every which way I look at it. Let's do ICX for odd. Let's check out ICX. All right, what's going on here, huh? It's consolidating. It's clearly cooling off, right? So in all of these, in all of these situations, it's really a guessing game, and a lot of it's a Rorschach test where it's like you kind of see what you want to see. If you're a bull, you know it's a bull flag, and there's an argument to be made there because on these bearish candlesticks, on these red candlesticks, there's not a lot of volume, and that's a tell. So that would kind of, to me, suggest that we're looking at bullish continuation, bullish consolidation, and kind of to buttress that, you have the strength of the on-balance volume. So you could make an argument that your RSI is heading back to support. So which would suggest to me, if you look at where the price is now, we have a little bit more consolidation ahead. You want to look back at prior closes. So this would be a level of significance. This kind of this bearish engulfing, like almost like dual Maribozus from the 30th. So that's a level you might want to see hold, but really I'd probably slide it down to right there, which would make, because you have more days kind of trading in that area, and there wasn't a lot of volume behind those two candles. So I mean, overall, it's bullish, but you're not sure where it's going to catch. Like it's got to catch a higher low. Look where the low is right now. You're pretty high. You're pretty high up from the low. So let's see here. So I just want to take a look at something. So yeah, I mean, so look, that's a big move. Right, so if you look at somewhere, maybe I don't have all the levels up, but somewhere around the 618 fib level, a little bit higher, maybe at the might make sense at the 0.5 level. So that would be my view on ICX. Justin, HOT. We'll do one more HOT. Let's zoom out. I'll go back to the 12-hour chart. All right, HOT. So had a really nice run, and it's trying to find support. The OBV remains strong. It has a decent case because the OBV remains strong. You have a resetting of the oscillators, which put the bulls into a good position to bounce. You have the volume trend kind of nearing its pivot, or nearing its decision point. Right, so that would kind of buttress that argument. You have this consolidation zone from late January that initially bounced off of it. You have the kind of confluence of the lower Bollinger Band support as well. So you really, as long as the price can hold this level right around 30 Satoshis, I think this is a decent setup to keep an eye on. I'm just going to wrap it up here on Bitcoin. So we talked about Bitcoin in the macro. Let's jump out. Maybe I haven't talked about it enough in the macro. Let us take a look at, sometimes I have issues with TradingView. I'm sure it's let's just pardon if you just grant me some patience here. Oh, Big Jonas is laughing right now. Yeah, I don't know why it does that. I mean, that's, I could start with, oh. Let's do that, shall we? Okay. All right. It was worth it. Took a little time. I don't mind. This is what I want to show you. I want to let's just feast our eyes here on the weekly chart. I don't have any oscillators up. And let's just kind of take a look at the volume. Let's look at the volume. All right. All right. So we have some context, right? So you have just kind of big picture. I'm just kind of spitballing here, all right? So we have this consolidation zone. And within it, you have kind of a clear bear break from this pattern. And then you have kind of some kind of something to reflect upon. Right, this potentially like a similar type of consolidation, and maybe from here, you know, this is what was the precursor to this one. So you have some price history here, so that gives you a little bit of context. We have the 200 period moving average, which you now have 2, and now a third contact point. For me, like with a trend, 2 points, in my opinion, does not make a trend line. Sometimes you have to draw it to emphasize price direction, but it's not a trend line. You need, in my view, and I think it's commonly accepted, you need 3 contact points. So this is the third contact point, 200 period moving average. What's the volume doing? Okay, decent volume cluster. Typically, you see the most volume near the top and the bottom. Is that what we're seeing? I'm not quite sure. I think we have to take it sequentially. I think, bulls have been running out of arguments. To say that the downtrend is over. I mean, the argument was clear. Pardon me. The argument was clear through June, July, August, through November, when the price is holding at 6K. Oh, it's not going below 6K. I said that myself. So I'll fully admit to that. There was some bullish divergence. I was looking for a bull break. The bears were right. Okay. So that broke down, and now the bulls' argument potentially is the 200 period moving average, and that's what the deal is. So that's the next best argument for the bulls. I'm gonna leave it right there. You can find me on Twitter at Big Cheds, and you can find me on YouTube at Cheds Trading. If you're not familiar with my good friend Big Chonas, he's on Twitter at Big Chonas. He's also on YouTube at Chonas Trading. And once again, I'm a founding analyst at Bitcoin Live, the best-in-class educational platform for crypto. Get access to unique educational content from world-class traders. I myself put out reviews on the state of the market. I do a watch list scan, which is a segment I'm very proud of, where I record myself going through every play on my watch list, and I talk about my method, how I find plays, and I really enjoy working with people and teaching them that. I also have a candlestick guide series on candlestick analysis. I have psychology articles, trading psychology articles, and you get access to everyone else. And it's just a really great team, a really amazing project that I'm proud to be part of. We have added a monthly option as well as a quarterly option if you'd like to try the platform out before committing for a full year, which is the best deal. And the link for this is in the video as well. If you guys and gals have questions, please do reach out to me on Twitter. I want to thank everyone for joining me tonight. It was a pleasure to do the show. I hope everyone has a great evening or a great morning wherever you are in the world. Big Cheds out.